Hey! Woo! We're live! Live at 6:45. Well, at least it's 6:45 on my clock. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to do something a little bit, well, actually, I've been getting a lot of questions about security. In fact, I had a really, really great conversation with a good friend, and I am psyched to bring you this one. Um, as always, we're trying to up the standards here, and you'll notice that we've got a everything's mirrored for me, right? We got a brand new logo going on down here. What do you think? Let me know what you think because I'm always curious. We've got yeah, so we're talking security tonight, um, and tonight I'm going to focus more specifically on email. Some really like stuff that they don't usually talk about, and I think we can have some fun with this. So let's jump in, shall we? As always, I love comments. I love questions. Go ahead, hit me up in the comments at any time. I will post my email at the end of the show so you guys can email me if you like. But let's jump into this. So here's my issue. The question, the first part was about email. Now, email, yeah, it's email, but you know what? Let's be honest. There's still a lot of questions about email. I'm not going to get into zero inbox or anything like that. That's a whole other kettle of fish. But I do want to talk about I'm going to talk about spam. And you'll notice I'm on the waterfront here. I don't have my fishing pole because I'm not a fisher, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not a huge fan of fishing. I've been fishing. I don't mind it. It's nice, but we're going to be talking about this kind of fishing. No, seriously, I cannot make this stuff up. I have an active imagination, but seriously, spelling it like this, well, it actually kind of makes sense. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about fishing, and we're going to be talking about spam. No, I know it's spelled the same and looks the same as this stuff here. No, we're not talking about that, although it is just as unpleasant. So let's talk about email, spam, and phishing. The biggest trick with spam, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, spam in and of itself isn't dangerous. It's the electronic equivalent to getting the flyers in the mailbox. And just like the flyers in the mailbox, you can put a sign. I don't know where the laws stand where you are, but we have the right to put a. I'm up in Montreal, Canada, right? We can put a sign outside our door that says no solicitation. It means they can't leave the bag with all the circulars. They can't leave stuff in your mailbox unless, unfortunately, there are certain things that companies pay the post office to put in there. Yeah, so it comes down to money. It's going to come up a lot. It comes down to money. The electronic version we call spam because let's be honest, it's about as useful, and the only thing you really want to do with it is fry it. So, all right. Um, is there danger in opening spam? No, there's no danger in. Well, okay. There's no actual danger except for the fact that um, some emails can be formatted to load the same way as a web page, and a web page can have scripts depending on the email client you use. Oh, wait. Back it up a bit. All right. Let me start from the very beginning. Your email account, your email does not live on your computer, or not the new stuff. Okay? Email works a lot like a post office box. And you have different providers of email services, just like you have different banks. You don't necessarily keep all your money in your house. You may have money, and that's fine, but if you keep it in a bank, chances are the bank has a company. Here we've got the 5 majors, right? Okay, maybe you keep it in another type, that's fine. But if you're banking with one bank and you have your money there, and you go to the other company and you say, hey man, can you do all this stuff with my money? No, they can't. Which is why it matters what email companies use. Google is a big one. Gmail, Google Mail, right? Or Gmail for short. Gmail's been around like ages. Not as long as, say, Excite, and, you know, not quite as long as Yahoo, and we won't even get into AOL. But those were all internets. Those were all major companies on the internet that provided email services, and a lot of them provided free email services. Nothing's free. There's always a price to pay somewhere. And the price to pay in a lot of the free email services is that you can receive advertising, and they can advertise to you through that portal. Google does it through analytics and subject content and stuff like that. I won't cover that today, but I will cover it. So, the email provider you're with basically provides you your own kind of PO box. Now you can go to their site, so you can type hotmail.com, outlook.com, gmail.com, any one of these. You go to their web portal. It's like going to the PO box, opening it up, and going, what have I got? And that's okay. That's great. Win. Or you can use what's referred to as an email client. That's like a personal assistant doing it for you. Instead of sending them to pick up the dry cleaning, you send them to pick up the mail. Well, this program lives on just about every device we can possibly imagine. Every phone, every computer, every modern internet-enabled device that actually has multifunction, aside from, like, video game systems, can have an email client. And all that client does is it logs in as you, goes and gets your email and displays it to you. Nice. So, back to spam. So along with your inbox, along with your PO box comes a whole bunch of stuff you don't want. How does it get there? If you go to a website that is even remotely questionable, there's some websites that make their money where they go, hey, we need a cash flow injection, and they sell off their mailing list. Oh, I like this. Okay. So I will answer, I've got a question already, which I like. So your PO box, now this is electronic, right? So you keep a copy in that box. The advantage to that is that no matter if you log in with your phone, your computer, friend's computer, whatever have you, it goes to the same PO box and it's the same stuff in there. And you will have stuff that you don't want, that's spam. The danger in opening spam is not that it's going to ruin your system, especially not through the web interface, because these companies know that if their service, if email from their service screws you up, then they're going to take the rap for it. So they scan the emails, and they actually do a pretty darn good job. But some emails can display like a web page or try to lead you to a web page, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And they can have scripts and whatnot. But if you have your security settings on, most of that will get stopped. Okay, so that's not a big deal. The biggest danger in opening spam is this. If you open a piece of spam, somebody way back in the late 80s came up with this really clever idea that you put a really small graphic. Doesn't even have to be something that's seen. It's just a graphic or logo or whatever have you. And it's located on a web server. And what happens is when you click on the email and open it up, it has to go to that website to grab that image to display it. It's like knocking on somebody's door, and instead of staying quiet, you go, nobody's home. You deleted the email, but you were active with it. You triggered that graphic, which means that your email account is active. So it goes on a list of active emails, and that list gets sold. All right. Oh, and I'm getting a compliment on the new logo. Thanks, Pete. I'm glad you like the new logo. I'm kind of happy with it for now, and we're gonna have fun animating it. So that's the danger in opening spam. If you can, what I suggest you do, whether you're on Mac and you two-finger click or right-click on a PC or whatever have you, you don't want to display that email. If you can just delete it straight off the list, even better. There's another trick, which is called filters or rules. These can be done on the computer from your email client, or, and this is kind of the better solution, and There are Google articles on this. If anybody wants to know more about this, specifically how to do it on yours, because I can't give general instructions. There's like, depending on which service you use, there's like 60 different ways to do it. And I'm not going to go through 60 different procedures here. But if you guys want to know more, you can actually tell Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, Yahoo, anyone you want. You can tell anyone you want to say, hey, if you see bananarepublic.com, I want that gone. I don't want to know. Banana Republic, I don't want it. You know, Grand Old Party, don't want it. It doesn't matter what it is. You name it. You can even state specific words. You can put in the filter if it's from these people, or if it has the words, or if it has this word in the subject. If it has Viagra in the subject, trash it. Skip the inbox. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go directly to jail. You can absolutely do this. So, go ahead. And tell me about your experience doing this. All right. Now, Deb has a question. How safe is it to have all your stuff stored in the Google Suite and email? Google is reasonably ethical. I'm not trashing them. I mean, they're not the worst of the bunch. But do remember that nothing is free. In fact, actually, we spoke about that. You're the one who said that to me. Nothing is free. So, and I agree with you. So Google uses information. Google is in the information game. Google sells information to companies. Google finds groups of people based on interest, by subject matter, by what you're talking about, what you're into, so does Facebook. Does it hurt you to do it? No. Is it safe? Yes. Do I have questions about? I've got some issues with Google Photos. That's for another time. But your stuff is safe. Google is probably one of the safer vaults on the planet. Like, as far as a cloud service goes, you don't get much safer than Google. Google is pretty much the blue chip stock of the internet. Even more so than Apple. And I like Apple. But, So don't worry about your stuff. It's good. It's safe. Just know that you will get advertised at. Now back to phishing. Once again, I can't make this stuff up. Phishing. Fraudsters, scam artists, and so on. Phishing is the act of putting a falsified email in front of you typically with a link that goes to a website that looks suspiciously like a real website that isn't actually real. I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like one of those videos, tell me your, without telling me your, let me lead with an example. Apple users get this a fair bit. Your Apple account is you're in default, you need to change your payment method. Click this link and change your Apple ID, or log into your Apple ID to change your payment method. Right. No company with even a modicum of intelligence is ever going to ask you through the email, and if you click on that link and it's a false website, because there are forgeries out there, and including websites, and these websites are designed to look like the real thing. They usually don't. They're usually just a little off. And usually a fair amount of typos, because they're not usually, English isn't usually their first language, but there are exceptions. So let's determine how to spot a fraud. When I learned how to spot false money, they didn't teach you all the ways it could be faked. They showed you the real thing, got you real good at identifying the real thing, and then showing you. So let's look at the real thing. All right. A real email address looks like this. A name. Again, it's all mirrored, right? There's a name. You choose this. That's okay. If your email is sexyhotchocolate@hotmail.com, We've met once. I complimented you on it then. I'm complimenting you on it again now. But you choose your name. The commercial at is the grand separator. That's this character right here. Okay? This is the commercial at. This is the big separator from what you choose, versus what's given to you based on the company you choose. Or the company you're dealing with. In our case, this would probably be no reply, because they don't want you to reply to their emails. Not on these. Usually it's no reply. If it isn't no reply, that's kind of my first clue, but it's a soft clue. It's like a pink flag. What is it in soccer, guys? Is it the green card? And then it's not a red card. It's not a red card. Not yet. The magic is in the domain over here. You don't choose it. If the domain on the email for the company is not the exact same as their website, if it's Apple dash whatever it is, or email stuff, or cloud stuff dash apple.com, wrong. Apple.com, hotmail.com, outlook.com, ancestry.com. And it doesn't have to, I made a mistake when I did this. .com. .com is one. There are hundreds now. .org, .org, .net, .edu, .gov, .ca, NZ, UK, one for every country. There's .io. One of my domains is an IO. And it's kind of fun in tech because we joke that it's input output. It's actually Indian Ocean. But, take them where you get them. One solace in the .com is .coms are usually more expensive than others because they're the most popular. So if it's a .com, it tends to add a layer of legitimacy, but don't take that as read. Again, not quite a red flag, but not all clear. What's really important is that the domain here is exactly what the company's website is. And if you can't find a website for them, chances are, don't touch it. Just don't touch it. It's not worth it. Typos are a big thing too. I swear. If I can notice, I'm not bad, but I'm not like Mr. I'm not proof editor of the year here. If I notice typos, there's definitely a problem. Any major corporation worth its salt will have at least 2 communications departments, and any outgoing email to clients has to go through at least one of them. And they are usually canned emails. So they are usually done once, a template is saved, and the whole company uses the same template. So if there's a typo, kind of a dead giveaway. Really a dead giveaway. Does it happen? Sure. Should you be really suspicious? Oh yeah. Sorry, I couldn't resist the Kool-Aid reference. For those of you who remember, the Kool-Aid guy bursting through the wall. Oh yeah. I just showed my age, didn't I? Yes, I did. And that's okay. All right. So, that is the biggest way to spot phishing. Typos, if the logo doesn't look right, if the logo looks out of date, if it's, and check that email. If the email doesn't show, if it just shows a name, click at the top where the name is. It'll show you the email. Try replying to the email. If nothing else, reply to the email and it'll actually show, because it'll reply to the email that sent it to you. Therefore, you can tell if it's legit or not. That's a really easy way to kind of see the email if you don't right away, but if you can see it, you can usually tell within about 2 seconds. No kidding. First time I mentioned on this, actually, I used to work for Apple. I was one of their trainers. And this lovely older lady comes in and she goes, I think this is a scam. Could you tell me if I'm right? I open up the email and it had, what was it? Info at ICLAUDE apple.com. iCloud, like iCloud, iCloud, iCloud. And failed the test. If you ever happen to watch this video, you earned a gold star that day, and I will give you another one today because you did absolutely right to check. And I showed you this trick at the time. That is an absolutely huge, huge way to find. Oh, thank you for joining. That's awesome. Yeah, seriously. ICLAUDE was part of the domain. It's like, no, no. Sorry. Roll up a newspaper, swat them on the no. All right. All right. Let's see. What do we got for questions? Loving the new logo. I love that. Oh, what's this? Can email clients for future more than one email and can email clients for future more than one email? Oh, yes. Consolidate future email. Okay. So email clients are smart enough, and even some of the web interfaces now, I know Gmail does this, for example, can do what's called a conversation string. And what happens is every time a new email comes in, but the subject has to be the same. But if it's the same subject, yes, it will compile all the emails into one, and you can literally just go click on it, and you will see all the entire list of the conversation. So you don't have to have all the, the copied into the email, so the email gets bigger and bigger, and then you wind up, 13 emails later with Santa's list. Wait, let me read that back to the first. No, none of that. We're good. You can have it all. So can you consolidate? You can as well. By the way, I mentioned filters. On the apps, they're usually called either filters or rules. So the email clients can have filters or rules. And what you can do is you can say, hey, all the emails from this person or from these people or that have these words in them, or even just from this domain, shove them in this folder. You can even have them in the inbox still, but you can say, dump them in the folder. Or flag them, or highlight them. This is how a lot of people use out-of-office responders. You can go, hey, I'm away for the week. Click a little, make a little filter, go any incoming email that does not pass, that passes the spam filter, send them this email. Sorry, I'm not in the office all week, blah, 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 blah. You can do that with filters. It's kind of cool. Fetch. Deb is asking, fetch, lots of laughs. Fetch is actually a term. It's a thing. When the act of your client going to get the mail is actually referred to properly by tech people as fetching. So fetch, yes, it is a thing. And notifications can be fetch as well. Oh, okay. Different email clients like Google, EMS. Okay, I got a clarification here. Oh, hold on. Let me bring that back up. Here we go. No, different email clients like Google, EMS. Yes, one email client can actually take on dozens and dozens and dozens of email accounts. Yes, your email client can do that, and it can apply rules, folders, and can even store. You can have rules that store some emails from one account in another. A lot of fun with that. Yes, email clients are wildly useful for this kind of thing, and we love that. So, yes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put my email up, so if you guys have any questions or want to reach me, loving this, guys. I'm getting some nice interaction with you guys, and we're already at 24 minutes. Jeez, I've been going on. You're absolutely welcome, Deb. That's I love that. Yes. So, thanks for tuning in. Again, my email's. That's my email. Bring it. Oh, last funny story. One of my emails, you'll notice that I'm going to use this format, right? Coaching, I chose coaching at rstrother.com. I own rstrother.com. I purchased that domain. It is mine. I have actually made a shortcut, Gmail at rstrother.com. Kind of fun, huh? So when it's your domain, you can do whatever you want. You can put whatever you want. So if anybody wants to know more about doing this kind of tomfoolery, here I am. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, it's been awesome. I'm coming back tomorrow with a little more security. We're going to talk about something completely different. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about something completely different. We're going to have fun with this. Thanks so much for tuning in. Guys, love y'all. If there's somebody you know who could use the information in this episode or any of the others that I've been putting out, or you just enjoy the format and you want to share it, please share it. Click subscribe, like, and all of that. Love that. But thank you. Share it. I need to get the word out. Looking forward to continuing the conversation with you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.